My dear brothers and sisters, remember this. No one should ever be abandoned. Life may shake a man, but it must never take away his hope. As long as he breathes, as long as he believes, everything remains possible.
President Ibrahim Traoré was driving through the bustling streets of Ouagadougou, the capital of Burkina Faso, on a scorching afternoon. He had just finished an unplanned visit to a local primary school where he had spoken with teachers and administrators about educational reforms. Suddenly, something caught his eye, leading him to order his convoy to stop immediately. There, leaning against a cracked and weathered wall, sat a man almost invisible to passers-by. His neglected appearance made him look like part of the forgotten scenery of the city, yet something in his face stirred a powerful memory within Ibrahim. The man's worn clothes, prematurely graying hair, and weary eyes spoke of years of hardship. But behind those tired features, Ibrahim recognized someone dear to him, Moussa, his childhood friend. Once a brilliant student and later a respected high school principal in Bobo-Dioulasso, Moussa now sat reduced to holding a small metal cup, hoping for the kindness of strangers. Ibrahim's mind immediately traveled back to their school days, when Moussa had shared his textbooks, defended younger classmates from bullies, and constantly encouraged him to pursue his dreams. Never could he have imagined that their lives would diverge so dramatically. Moussa's life had once seemed firmly on the path to success. After his studies, he became a teacher, then a principal, admired for his discipline and dedication to education. With his savings, he built a modest yet comfortable home where he moved in with his wife Stella, believing they would build a stable family life together. For years, everything appeared to be going as planned, but gradually things began to change. Stella grew distant, often glued to her phone, easily irritated and prone to arguments. Moussa, faithful to his values, tried to rekindle their bond with patience, small gifts and extra care at home. Unfortunately, his efforts seemed to have no effect. One day, coming home earlier than usual, Moussa discovered a painful betrayal that shattered his world. Stella coldly announced that she wanted to leave, and soon after began a legal battle to claim the house he had built. Despite all his sacrifices and evidence of ownership, the courts ruled against him. Crushed by legal fees and mounting pressure, Moussa lost both his home and his position as principal. His savings vanished, and friends who once offered support slowly drifted away. Ashamed of his situation, he could not bring himself to ask for help. From being a respected school director, Moussa found himself with nothing, forced to wander the streets, sleeping wherever he could, surviving on scraps and the indifference of strangers. The isolation and despair weighed heavily, dragging him into a downward spiral where each day was simply about survival. And yet, deep inside, something refused to let go completely. Perhaps it was pride, perhaps resilience. Despite everything, he endured, and it was in this state, seated by the roadside, that his childhood friend, now the president of the nation, found him again on that fateful day. When their eyes met, Ibrahim immediately recognized Moussa, despite the marks of hardship and the passing years. His first instinct was not judgment, but compassion. Without hesitation, he ordered that Moussa be brought to his residence, where he was given food, clothing, and medical care. For Moussa, the transition felt surreal, from the dust of the streets to the comfort of the presidential palace. At first, he thought he was dreaming, but the clean clothes, the warm bath, and the hot meal convinced him this was real. In Ibrahim's private office, Moussa poured out his story, from the collapse of his marriage to his life on the streets. Ibrahim listened intently, his face growing more solemn and determined with each word. Soon Ibrahim decided to act. He purchased a small, well-built house in a respectable neighborhood, with all the legal documents in order. The home, fully furnished and complete with a garden, was given to Moussa as a fresh start, a gift without conditions, not a loan. In addition, Ibrahim set up a bookstore and school supply shop for him, located near several schools. The store was fully stocked, and the first year's expenses were covered. Ibrahim's intention was not temporary charity, but long-term dignity and independence. At first, Moussa struggled to believe his luck. Each morning, he half expected to wake up back on the pavement, but over time, he grew into his new life. He threw himself into managing the shop with the same dedication that had once made him an excellent educator. He learned about suppliers, organized the inventory, and welcomed customers with patience and care. Very soon, students and teachers realized that Moussa offered much more than notebooks. He gave advice, encouragement, and support. The bookstore became a respected place in the community. Young people came not only to buy supplies, but also to benefit from his guidance. His reputation grew, parents trusted him, schools placed bulk orders, and Moussa regained the recognition he thought lost forever. Yet, despite his renewed stability, a sense of emptiness remained in his personal life. That was when destiny introduced him to Grace Caboret, a teacher who came looking for mathematics textbooks. Her smile, her kindness, and her quiet strength immediately struck Moussa. Their first conversations, focused on education, soon deepened into something more personal. Grace, too, had faced her share of hardship, raising her daughter Rachel alone after losing her husband. Their connection grew naturally. Rachel, shy at first, quickly warmed to Moussa when she saw his genuine kindness toward her mother and his patient willingness to help students. Over time, a real sense of family began to form among them. One day, in the garden of his new home, Moussa asked Grace to marry him. His proposal was simple and sincere. She accepted joyfully, and Rachel embraced the news with enthusiasm, welcoming Moussa as a father figure. Their wedding, intimate and heartfelt, was attended by close friends, loyal clients of the bookstore, and, of course, Ibrahim himself, who reminded everyone of the enduring power of friendship and loyalty. The first months of their new family life were an adjustment, but also filled with joy. Moussa found in this blended family the stability and love he thought gone forever. He became a true guide for Rachel, supporting her in her studies and encouraging her to dream big. As his personal life flourished, Moussa felt a growing desire to give back to others who faced similar struggles. Inspired by his own journey, he founded an organization dedicated to helping men who had lost everything, giving them shelter, skills, and opportunities to rebuild their lives with dignity. The foundation Moussa created quickly took shape. Its mission was not to hand out short-term aid, but to give people the tools to rebuild their lives permanently. A modest center was established, able to host 20 men at a time. There, they found temporary shelter, vocational training, and emotional support, with a strong focus on discipline, responsibility, and the development of practical skills. Drawing from his background in education, Moussa designed comprehensive programs: literacy, financial management, conflict resolution, career guidance, and personal development. Participants were not treated as dependents, but as active partners in their own transformation. Success stories soon emerged. Some found employment, others started small businesses, and a few even launched initiatives of their own, inspired by Moussa's example. News of the foundation spread quickly, attracting the attention of government officials, NGOs, and international organizations. Moussa was invited to speak at conferences and workshops where he shared his philosophy: true dignity comes not from temporary relief, but from opportunity and empowerment. His words carried weight because they came from lived experience. Then came an unexpected phone call from Stella, his ex-wife. Despite Grace's gentle warning that meeting her could reopen old wounds, Moussa agreed, curious to test the strength of his forgiveness. At a small cafe, he found Stella transformed. Time and hardship had left their mark. She confessed that the man she had chosen over him had deceived and abandoned her, leaving her with nothing. Moussa listened calmly. He felt no anger, no triumph, only sadness for the wasted years. With kindness, he forgave her, but made it clear that his life had moved on. He gave her the contacts of charities and even pointed her toward his foundation, but he could not take personal responsibility for her future. His world now belonged to Grace and Rachel. That encounter tested his spirit, but also confirmed his growth. Forgiveness did not mean going back. It meant moving forward without bitterness. The following years brought continuous progress. His bookstore thrived, the foundation expanded, and his family flourished. Rachel excelled at her studies, inspired by the example of both her mother and Moussa. Eventually, Moussa's work gained international recognition, taking him all the way to the United Nations, where he delivered a speech on the importance of offering not just resources, but hope and purpose. As his 60th birthday approached, Moussa reflected on his extraordinary journey, from respected principal to life on the streets to rebirth as a leader and mentor. At his celebration, surrounded by Grace, Rachel, Ibrahim, and many whose lives had been transformed by his foundation, he reminded everyone that resilience, friendship, and solidarity can rebuild even the most broken lives. His story became a symbol. The simple decision by Ibrahim to stop his convoy that day had triggered a chain of events that changed countless destinies. Moussa, once invisible on the roadside, had become a pillar of strength and an inspiration for an entire community. His legacy, through his family, his bookstore, and his foundation, stood as living proof that no fall is final, and that a single act of compassion can spark waves of transformation far beyond what anyone could imagine.